What's up, junkies? Toxic J, aka Evil Dead Batman, back for another video. This time we're gonna do a fan film movie review right here on Corpses for Conversation. And before we get into it, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff that you do. Greatly appreciated. Today we're actually going to review Dylan's New Nightmare, a Nightmare on Elm Street fan film starring Minko Hughes, returning in his role as Dylan Porter, along with Dave McRae as Freddy Krueger. So fan films are usually hit or miss, you know, some are fair, some are okay, and some are just straight out really bad. It's very rare that you get a short film that's actually good, and this one delivers on all cylinders. Minko returning to the title character. It's kind of hard to do it without Robert Englund, and I know Robert Englund doesn't really do short films, but Dave McRae, who is a voice actor, producer, actor, he does it all. Does he hold up to the mantle of Freddy Krueger? Yes, he does. This is extremely well portrayed, especially by Dave. And I met Dave in the past, a few years ago at the Halloween 40th convention. Great guy, nicest guy. We were talking for like half an hour, and it was mainly about hockey. He's a hockey guy, I'm a hockey guy. And then he's done a previous fan film called It's Me, Billy, a Black Christmas short fan film. That was good as well. They're working on a sequel, so I hope to review that later on down the line. This movie, or fan film, whatever you want to call it, it's pretty good. And like I said before, not all the time fan films meet everyone's expectations, but for like clocking in at 34 minutes max, it delivers. No fillers, it's just kind of straight to the point. So I will talk about spoilers. If no one wants to hear any spoilers, then you know, you can just leave this video right now. What? No, I'm just kidding, but just, you've been warned. So it starts off as an audition for some kind of movie. You don't know what kind of movie it is. People like rehearsing their lines and stuff. And then straight dead center, you do see Dylan. Not even acknowledging anybody. He's just kind of like in his own world. So they call him. There's three like producers. The main one was trying to figure out who he was. He found out he was Chase Porter's son, along with Heather Langenkamp's kid. Obviously, we find out that she's like in a loony bin since the events of Wes Cravens New Nightmare. And he was actually auditioning for in Hatchet 5, which is kind of funny. I don't know if that was like a nod or a hint or whatever, or they just kind of just threw it in there as a joke. I don't know. Anyways, all of a sudden, like, two of the movie producers kind of look at each other. One takes out a handgun, the other one takes out a switchblade, slits her throat, shoots himself in the head, and the middle one is laughing, like horribly laughing. And you find out it's Fred Krueger back for whatever reason to haunt Dylan in his dreams. That's how it starts off. And you know, it didn't take 20 minutes to get into that. They just jumped right in, which I like, because especially with like fan films like Roseblood, it was like a Friday the 13th fan film. Man, that thing was, to each his own. That's all I gotta say. Going forward, this film is kind of different, and obviously it's a direct sequel, like I said, to Wes Cravens New Nightmare, which is a pretty unique idea. It could have gone from Dream Warriors, Dream Master, even the Dream Child, but no, hey, let's do it with the black sheep of the Nightmare series, which me personally, I like loved it. It was grounded in reality, you know, for a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So I think that movie itself was like ahead of its time. So to add more elements into that sequel was it was welcoming. Minko, obviously, he is one of the Elm Street kids in the franchise as a whole, and from my knowledge, he hasn't been acting for like over 20 years. So for him to jump back in this role, you couldn't even tell. He played the title role really well. You know, I liked him in like a lot of stuff when he was growing up. You know, he was in Kindergarten Cop. He had a short cameo in Spawn, and obviously Wes Craven's New Nightmare. It was pretty good to see him back. So yeah, it was nice. But, you know, the real question is, does Dave McRae fit? Is he Freddy Krueger? All I gotta say is this. Now, if they wanted to reboot the franchise, Dave McRae would be a phenomenal Freddy. With the makeup and the prosthetics, he looked like Robert Englund, but he wasn't an exact clone of Robert Englund. But he got the mannerisms down, the one-liners, you know, kind of going back to like Dream Warriors. In this film, he's like, his clothes are all tattered and beat up, you know, so I like that, like, that ageness, you know, instead of just like picking up right where he left off. So obviously he's been plotting this for years. I can see him taking up the mantle as Freddy Krueger. And the ending itself, it leaves the door open. If they want to reboot the franchise, Dave would be really perfect for this role. I don't know if it's going to be on physical media. I mean, you can watch it on YouTube. I believe his website, clocking in at like half an hour, it's just enough. I highly recommend it. Like, I'm not going to give you the whole story because, you know, you could take 30 minutes out of your life to watch this yourself. It's worth your time. Like, I've seen a lot of bad films, a lot of bad short films, fan films, like, you know, Valentine's Bluff. Whew. Eventually, I probably will review that later down, so, you know, give my takes on it. On a scale of 1 to 5 Rex dolls, I'm going to have to give this a 5. It was straight and to the point, and it was done so well. You know that old expression, for the fans, by the fans. Not everyone can reach up to those expectations, but this one does. And I highly recommend it for all you junkies that want to see some kind of type of Nightmare on Elm Street film of any type, just until we actually get one. This is really good. So once again, 5 Rex dolls. Just remember, hit that like, subscribe, comment. You know, you can reach us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you know. And as always, be kind and rewind.